Hello everyone, I'm gonna talk about how I make rings today. A lot of people have asked me how I do them, and this is a short film about how I'm doing it. First I choose the material I want to be in the core, and here you see me measure it, and then I measured how big the ring need to be on my stretcher, and I measure on the stretcher to see exactly how big it should be. Then I put it on the material on the stretcher and start stretching the material. It's important to turn a little bit on the material either way when you stretch it. Some materials you need to anneal, but brass, as this is, it's not necessary to anneal. And after a while I turn them over to do the same in the both directions until I get the good fit that I want. After that I choose the material I want to be around the ring, and this time I'm looking at acrylic because I want yellow and blue. I mount it in the pillar boring machine, and I choose the big bore diamond bore first to just put it in the right direction or position for the drilling part. So I choose the big one, but I don't drill there. I just measure and put it in the right direction, then I switch to the smaller inner drill, as you can see here. After that I start drilling a hole in the middle, and I use some water as a coolant because it can get very hot and acrylic melts. I don't want the acrylic to melt very much, so low speed and a lot of water. You can still see some smoke coming out, so sometimes you just release pressure from the drilling. And after that, once you've gone through and you've made a center hole, you can just lift up the drill and choose the bigger one to do the middle one. Here you can see after a while that I didn't fasten it so very good, so it's always important to use safety protection as goggles and respiration masks and stuff. Here you can see it's loosening up and going away. Nothing happened, but still just tore off. Then it's a little bit tricky sometimes to get it out of the diamond drill, and here you can see me making it loosen, and this is the finished part that I have. Then I put it in a lathe, and this is further in. This is the last path I do on the lathe. I do inner parts back and forward, small increments to make the brass ring fit inside this, and you will see here in the end that this is the last pass, and after the fit is good, I will start mixing some glue, and I use 50 minutes epoxy that I mix up here, and I just carefully put it on the metal, and I haven't really sanded the inside of the acrylic down because I want tracks in it to make the glue stick. So this is how it looks, and then it's done, and I leave it to dry. After that it's just making your passes over and back to make it the right width before we're going to do the track in the middle where we're going to put the metal from an airplane. So here we put the track in the middle. I choose to use just a parting tool there to make the track in the middle, and I do it as deep as I can, almost all the way into the metal, to get as much that I can get as much metal as I can inside the ring. The metal I'm using is from real aircraft that's flown or still flying. So this is from SK-50. It's a school plane. Here you can see me putting in the metal, and you can't bend the skin of an airplane because it breaks very easily. So I cut strips of it to put it in, and I use CA glue to glue them in together. And then it's all about, you know, putting pieces in here and there and make a nice pattern and see what fits. After that, back to the lathe, and I'm in small increments flattening it, so everything will be flattened and nice and no sharp edges or anything, and I get the width of the ring that I want. Once this is done, I do some etching on the inside. So this is an etching machine, and it's a manual etching machine. It's basically a copy. I have letters and numbers on a dial down below, and once you do those, you're going to see the edge in the middle there go down and etch on the metal or whatever I want to etch. So this is quite time consuming, and it's not a perfect science, and it's not exactly perfect, and you have to be aware when you do this so you don't do too much damage to the metal. So here we make the first letter. It's an S. It's gonna say Saab, because Saab is the one who produced the plane, Saab 91 or SK-50. And once we've done this, I just flatten it out with a piece of sandpaper a little bit, just to make the edges of the numbers and letters not be so sharp in your hand. And here you can see the lettering, how it becomes when I'm done with it. So this is a team ring for team 50. Once this is done, it's all about the finish work. So we're gonna start polishing from the Dremel tool. This is polishing compound, and just polish it, go around it a couple of times, and then I switch to a bigger polish wheel that's actually polishing it quite good. This is the big wheel, and you just clean it up, and after that I'll take a paper tissue to wipe it off to get the finished look. So here's the ring finished, and you're gonna see some pictures of the finished material. It's just mobile phone pictures, so it's not the best pictures, but hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more, put a comment in and I might do some more films. Bye bye.